be bad for you to talk into them?
Well, if you create a cavity and zap you with much greater power than what goes on in a walkie-talkie, then it would boil your blood, and that would be bad. Right?
Yeah,
but that's not what happens otherwise.
Microwaves cook things from the inside out,
Yeah,
right?
so microwaves, what happens is the water molecule really likes microwaves. They have a deep, cozy relationship with each other, which is one of the reasons why when we try to observe the universe in microwaves, you want to get above the cloud-forming layer of Earth's atmosphere because clouds wreak havoc on microwaves. Your cell phone signal is worst during thunderstorms. And all microwave signals are corrupted in the presence of water. And we exploited that with microwave ovens because most food that you'll ever consume has water in it, and the water absorbs the microwaves. It vibrates them real fast, and it's friction that cooks your food and nothing else. And so people who think of microwave ovens as nuking the food, not. It's just the vibration of the water molecules all next to each other, vibrating ferociously, creating heat. And it's microwaves in our life and in our culture. And microwaves, Brian, you've got microwave data sets telling us what's going on in the early universe.
That's right.
What kind of light is it in night when you use night vision goggles?
It depends. So the kind that you flick the switch on your camcorder, that one is like infrared.
No, but that's night mode. I'm talking about the kind Buffalo Bill wore in Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, okay. So that would be like an image intensifier. So that takes the very low. Those are developed in wartime, by the way. So you can shoot people in the dark of night.
Like what the SEALs use.
A lot of this is military technology. And so very, very low light situations, you can greatly magnify it electronically. So it looks like it's broad daylight to you and someone else is groping in the dark. So
groping? Do you mean that literally?
Mean what literally? Groping?
The groping.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make an intervention
Mike's
here.
getting a feel for the show.
Yeah, getting a feel for the show.
So Mike, on any of your photos, do you have a relationship with other bands of light, or are you primarily visible?
What kind of relationship do you mean? No, no. I'm trying to stay with visible spectrum.
So you're a visible guy.
I'm a visible light guy.
That's okay. But you realize the human eye sees in 1 octave of light, and we have detectors that see in 64. So what you're telling me now is that all of your books basically are demonstrations that we're actually mostly blind in the universe.
Oh, but we're mostly blind in the universe anyway. I mean, 99.9% of the universe is made out of stuff we don't even understand.
That's a whole other...
I can't believe I have to tell you that.
Point of ignorance going on there.
Speaking of ignorance, I have another question.
Oh, you have another question? We might have to save it for the third segment. Get it in real quick. Go.
No, I want to ask about photosynthesis.
Oh, cool. Yes, we can so go there because plants like light, as do the rest of us.
When we get back, because I have plants.
I will so get there. You're a plant lover of recent days.
40-something. I need to nurture.
We can do that. We'll also bring in an ace visualizer of cosmic phenomenon when we come back to Startalk Radio.
Bringing space and science down to Earth. You're listening to Startalk.
This is Startalk Radio. Welcome back. I'm your host, Neil Degrasse Tyson. Today's subject, let there be light in the universe. I've got Michael Benson, author and journalist. I've got Brian Abbott, manager of the digital universe at the famous Hayden Planetarium here in New York City. And, of course, the light of Startalk, Lynn Koplitz herself.
Hello.
Lynn, you had a question just before the break. What was that?
I did, but I have to tell our guests that Neil tells me there are no stupid questions, although sometimes I feel uncomfortable because I do feel like there are things I should have listened to in science class.
Let me just say, you asked the best stupid questions there ever
thank
were.
You.
Okay.
Okay.
If that's how you have to feel about it.
Having preempted that, I will say, I never used to be able to let plants live in my care, and I've just started raising some little plants, and I've given them all names, which is kind of weird, but I'm 43 and
you've named
single.
your plants. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
Anyway, so I put them on the fire escape, and they're doing quite well, but I've noticed, because I've been home, I haven't been on the road for a month or so, and I've been able to watch them, that, I know that photosynthesis is what it is, right?
Yeah, they like light. Yes, they need light.
But some of them, like Steve, he's foliage. He leans toward the light.
Steve leans.
But what I thought it was
Steve
just
is the name of
sunlight.
one of your plants.
Yes, but here I thought it was just Steve he's very cute. But Steve leans towards the light, but I thought it was just sunlight. But I bring him in at night.
Any light that any light.
And
well,
the pansies open up at night when I turn the little light on at night.
So you're messing with their biorhythms.
Well, that's my question. Am I screwing them up?
Is pansy the name of a plant, or is that the type of
No,
plant?
their name's Panzel, Michael.
Oh, okay. Well, I should have known.
Why would you name them pansy? They are pansies.
Duh. So
Be like me calling you man.
most people think that plants like light, but in fact, it's the light that's inhibiting the growth of the plant on the side of the plant that faces the light, allowing the far side of the plant to outgrow the side of the plant that's nearest the light. And so we then say, oh, it's leaning towards the light. In fact, the light is inhibiting the growth of the plant on that side.
Oh, no, I'm stunting their growth.
Well,
this
actually,
is why I can't have children. Because I don't know how to take care of
I don't
things.
see that connection. I'm sorry.
Because I could stunt their growth.
Yeah, because you have to do more than just water the children. Yes.
But here's my... Well, you have to do more than just water a plant. Here's
Yeah.
my question. So when
Yeah.
it's leaning, then why does it say to plant things in direct sunlight?
There's some plants that prefer direct sunlight rather than diffuse sunlight or indirect sunlight. So it just depends on how the plant evolved.
So if I don't
and what
have
it prefers.
sunlight, can I just put them in a pot and put a regular light on them?
If you want a light that's close to the spectrum of the sun, and you can buy sun lamps. Oh yeah. But you can completely. You don't even need the outdoor sun. Just go for it.
Interesting.
Yeah, just put in a light that you don't want a regular incandescent bulb. It's not blue enough for what the plant would
What happens to
thrive
people
on.
if they never have any sunlight?
Vitamin D? What's the vitamin that you're supposed to take in the winter?
Vitamin D, yeah.
Yeah, so you don't get vitamin D. You don't produce vitamin D.
Yeah, if you have light skin, yes, that's a rule.
So what happens to you?
Well,
Like, can you die from not getting any
You
light?
get scurvy.
yeah. No, scurvy is vitamin C. You
Okay,
get your
but
vitamin
I'm
straight.
improvising.
Are you like powder?
So you need the sun helps the body produce vitamin D. That's correct.
But
And
what
so
happens if you don't have vitamin D? What happens to you?
your bones weaken.
Really?
Yeah, and if
You
you
get depressed and you drink.
if you're developing, then you get rickets.
I think
And
I have
you
that.
look like the cowboy with the bowed legs.
Okay.
But let's get back to the universe, if we may.
Please.
Just let's understand how this works. So we have objects in the universe that emit light, and the visible part that's easy to understand because our eyes see visible light. Many really cool things in the universe don't know anything about visible light, and they're trying to talk to us in bands of light we cannot see. And it's a triumph of 20th century astrophysics that we've been able to build specialized telescopes with detectors that can reveal the universe in all these bands of light, ultraviolet, X-rays, gamma rays, radio waves, all these bands of the electromagnetic spectrum that tell us what the universe is actually doing, because we are practically blind.
Who came up with black light?
Black light, that's just ultraviolet light. And the part of the ultraviolet light the part of the black light you see is just violet. But it's really doing its job in the part of the spectrum you can't see, the ultraviolet. And bug zappers?
Oh, that's right, because the ultraviolet. That's right, because black light, you can see all the lint and all the dust.
Yeah, well, so that's the ultraviolet sort of rendering that aglow. So
Is that what you used to find DNA on things like the crime scene people use?
the crime scene people will use ultraviolet light to see different things that might be left on your sheets. Yes.
Interesting.
And a quick thing about bug zappers. Did you know that bug zappers are violet, basically, because bugs just love violet light. They come out in the early evening where the sky has a higher fraction of the total light represented in ultraviolet. And so you simulate the twilight sky with a bug zapper, and the bug says, I'm flying to the light. And it just gets zapped.
Oh,
and it's great. It's evidence that we're smarter than bugs, that we can to exploit the fact that they are sensitive to ultraviolet light, even though we're not. I got to bring in our third guest here. This guy, there's no one like him in the universe. Last I checked, Carter Emmart. Carter, you are director of astrovisualization of the Rowe Center for Earth and Space. Welcome to Startalk Radio. And you just gave a presentation at the World Science Festival last night, bringing the universe to the public as never before. You were born an artist with deep interest in the cosmos. You became a computer literate, and you transitioned what used to be canvas and paint for planetarium shows into the 21st century. So welcome to Star Talk Radio. And tell us what you did last night.
Thanks a lot, Neil. Yeah, actually, at the Hayden, we had a program that was looking at, it started off with a 60s era light show from the Joshua Light Show. And then we went in.
60s era had lasers and stuff, right?
Well, no, it was pre-laser.
Pre-laser light
so
show.
This
okay.
is, and the Joshua Light Show actually backed up Jimi Hendrix and other bands.
So were people getting high in the dome at the time?
Well, 10 minutes of that, and then basically I took us in a piece where we go from the Earth on out to the cosmic microwave background.
So
we
you
go
zoom,
back in time.
A powers of 10 kind of zoom.
Yes, we do, and then we actually travel all the way back to Earth and through the atmosphere and down to the town of Norrköping, Sweden, where I actually directed this film last year, and we fly all the way down to quarks in a carbon nucleus.
So these are Swedish quarks, apparently.
Yes, in that case, it's a strand of DNA.
As you zoom out, there'll be some familiar things. We'll see Earth from a distance,
That's right.
like the Apollo images. But rapidly, those images would become unfamiliar because you're zooming through a three-dimensional space that telescopes can't provide.
Yes, but it's a data map. Thanks to my work with Brian. Brian taking data sets, academic data sets, catalogs of various objects that we see, we observe with light, and their signature from the light gives us distance information. We're able to plot that. And
in 3 dimensions?
In 3 dimensions. A revolution in planetariums really occurred from that of showing the sky to now showing space 3-dimensionally.
Lynn?
I just have a question because we're talking about the universe. It's just so humongous. The idea of like you creating a light show that represents certain part. How do you decide exactly what you want the show to be? Like it's hard enough. Like when you're putting together a musical or something, how do you decide what parts of the universe are interesting and how you're going to use them?
Or another way to say that: how do you know what to not include?
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to ask.
The idea of the digital universe is to include everything. And
that's a cop-out. I mean, it's the right answer, but you choose a pathway to take the visitor on it, and you're invoking an artistic eye to this.
We're also and design and movement is a big part of it, and that goes to the heart of what our space shows are and how we create them and how to display the data. But also,
a pure scientist wouldn't necessarily know the best way to look at their own data, right? And you have an artistic eye for this.
Well, and also it's a matter of putting the pieces together. If you look at any one data set, say stars,